switch is on. Here comes the throttle. Circuit breaker's in. We have separation. Inboard and outboards are on. We're coming forward with the side stick. All looks good. Roger. I've got a blowout. Vapor 3. Pitch your pitch to 0. Pitch is out. I can't hold altitude. Direction. Alpha hold is on. Trap selectors emergency. Flight calm. I can't hold it. She's breaking up. She's breaking.
Steve Austin, astronaut, a man barely alive. Gentlemen, we can rebuild him.
All right, hey everyone. How many people remember that show from the 70s?
The capability to make the world's first bionic
$6 Million Man. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is like prison bonds and articles coming out now saying the women's prison population is up over 800% in the last 30 years. So I mean, there's no discrimination as far as locking people up on the plantation here. But I think once people get this part of it, they start to see the picture starts to awaken, and it's simple things that we kind of go through in our daily lives as we're growing up here in America, and you know how the court system. We watch the TV show, the dramas, the weaponized dramas that are supposed to make us believe that you know, the FBI and the cops and these are all the good guys, you know, and they can't sleep at night until they catch the perpetrator, and it's okay to you know, to torture someone to get the information out of them, as long as they save the little kid at the end. So I just wanted to talk about that. And it's interesting to know too that your body, your physical body, is a registered vessel with the U.S. government, with the corporation, under international maritime admiralty law. You are a vessel because that's the kind of law that we're under right now. It's the law of admiralty, and under that, it's not like you're innocent until proven guilty, all this fun stuff that we're led to believe is true. You know, 98% of all the people in this country that are charged with a crime never go to trial. So there's really no due process, and it's all about plea bargaining, and unless you have money to bail out, you'll probably take a plea bargain, a deal, because they make it so hellish in there while you are sitting there waiting for your court cases or whatever. But without getting too deep into that, the accounts are set up at your birth. It's like your car registration. Your birth certificate is your reg for your vessel. Basically all the same information on there, the weight, how many toes and fingers and arms and legs, and you know, how many pounds, and the name and things like this, and who is the informant. It's where your mother signs. You're considered a bastard child. If you look at your birth certificate, your mother uses her maiden name, even if she is married. And so she's basically saying that you are, she hands you over to, she donates you. What's the word I'm looking for? She donates her, yeah, she donates you like somebody would if they couldn't keep the baby, they would drop them off at at an orphanage. That's basically the same thing that happened. So they took control of your estate. They issued bonds on the amount of money, once you're properly trained in the public school system, the amount of money that you're going to pay into the IRS over your lifetime. They issue bonds on those, and those are sold on the market. But keep in mind too that because this is a trust, and under trust law, and under House Joint Resolution 192, they had to make us the beneficiary of the trust, which we're never told that we are. And so you can actually go back and take control of this, and you're also the administrator, evidenced by the fact if you still use checks, you have a checking account, and if you look at the signature line and get a magnifying glass and look at that, it'll say MP on the side, which stands for microprint. And get a magnifying glass and look at that, it'll say authorized rep, authorized rep, authorized rep. And you look at the routing and account number at the bottom, that's not for Bank of America or Wells Fargo, wherever you're doing your banking. That leads to one of the 12 Federal Reserve banks in the Federal Reserve System. Look at the back of your Social Security card. It has to be a newer one, past 1999. And you're going to see a letter, a red letter, and an 8-digit account number. And that is your trust account. You have 10 of those. If you tell them, if you go tell them you lost your Social Security card and go down and get a new one, you're going to have a different account and routing number on the back. So when you get charged with whatever, and there's 80 million statutes and codes on the books, when you get charged, they're not. It's not like you're guilty. And when I say you're guilty, it has nothing to do with the facts. The facts are on the moon. It means, are you going to pay or are you not going to pay? And I go harp on this. They ask you, do you understand the charge? They're not asking you, do you speak English? Do you know what I'm saying here? And everybody just goes, well, yeah, I stole a car, so I guess the charge is stealing. So yeah, I understand that. But that's not what they're asking you. They're asking you, do you stand under the charge? Or are you going to take responsibility for this? You say yes. And they ask you, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty? Oh, wait a second, I'm innocent. I thought it was, no. Guilty or not guilty? Are you going to pay or are you not going to pay? Well, I'm not guilty. Bam, you're in dishonor. Right? Death before dishonor. Is what all the Navy tattoos on themselves. But I digress. But anyway, so it's all about these bonds, and that's why they're locking up so many people in prison. We have more people in prison in this country than any other, any other country out there combined, I think. And we wonder why they're shipping in all of these people from these other countries. Is because most of our labor pool, our underskilled and unskilled labor pool, and even skilled, are in prison. So they have to ship in like engineers and things from India and computer people. And they do that anyway just to get a better deal, just to get them for cheaper. But I think that's one of the reasons. An article came out, I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it, is how the majority of our labor force is behind bars in prison. And then you're pimped out when you get into the prison and working for 25 cents an hour. And any corporation can hire prison people to do that for them. It's called Unicor. So I think that's the major money generating focus for the foreign corporation known as the United States in the District of Criminals. Is they bring up we're like a crop of we're like a herd of sheep or cattle, and they propagandize us through the bullshit on the media. They own all the media, 6 corporations that, in the newspapers and everything. And that's why I say, get your alternative news out there on the internet. Why we still have the opportunity to do it. But and that's what they do. And then they sell. They're a statute merchant, so they sell what we call laws, and then corporations make money off that. So you can sponsor a bill, and they don't call it a bill for no reason. They're billing us for making a law against, I don't know, what are they trying to make laws against now? Not having a gun. See, that's going to be a huge one. So if they can make a law that says you can't own a gun anymore, and they catch you with a gun, imagine how many people are going to fill up the prisons that aren't going to give up their guns, but they're going to get caught with the guns. And then once you get in there, let me explain how this works, because there's 3 different bonds that they print out, because like an indictment is they write a check on the charges, and the charging instrument, and that's held in the judge's chamber in a safe. And so they hold the vessel, they put the vessel in dry dock into a warehouse until which time when the lien or the bonds can be satisfied. That's why they go in and charge. So you go in on a $25,000 charge, and you can't get out until you put up another bond to release the vessel that's going to hold the vessel, because it's all about bonds. I mean, it's really interesting once you get into this. I'm going to leave a link to an article I have on stopthepirates.blogspot.com below. It's called All About Prison Bonds. It's all about bonds. You'll understand that there's 3 different types of bonds, each one insuring the other one before it: a bid bond, a performance bond, and a payment bond. Payne Weber Group is the company, that the major stockholder in the New York Stock Exchange. Companies like Corrections Corporation of America that are making, these are privately or publicly traded companies, that their business is locking up the U.S. citizens. So, and business is good. I mean, as you can see, 800% rise in just women over the last 30 years. And in the same period, 460% in the men. So, and they make it so difficult out here for just the average person to, I mean, you can't live on $15 an hour. I mean, not where I live, baby. I mean, this is not going to happen. That's why you have women now. They're all turning into hookers, and it's done by design, but it's just sad to see it. But I think once people understand how all this whole system works and how you can take control of the Sustake trust account and basically set off and discharge all of your public debt. It's not easy, and it's, you know, there are some different things to it, and it's kind of a work in progress, but you're going to be better off knowing it than not knowing it. So before this video gets too long, I'll go ahead and cut it off there. But I'll leave a link, like I said, for the article that I'm talking about. It's all about bonds. Check it out. And then there's a couple other ones too that you can check out. Go to stopthepirates.blogspot.com. Thank you.